Hey Cat Gangas, Devil here with another exciting video. Today we will be doing a speedrun breakdown, but before we get into the first run I want to explain a few things first. So on speedrunning in general, the goal is to finish the quest as fast as possible. For me personally, that is not that important. I see it as an art because it's a combination of skill, monster knowledge and creativity. And with creativity I mean how smart and complicated your setup will be. And this is what a lot of people will not see or understand when watching a run. There is a lot of mechanics that happen in frames of a second but takes hours of planning and mastering. There is a big part of the community that is ignorance towards speedrunning, and not only that, they have an incredibly toxic behavior and hating on them only because of their own insecurities and not understanding what's going on, so they see said monster abuse or another way to play the game. A game has absolutely no specific way to be played and no purpose. You spend your $50 on it and it's your choice of how you want to play the game. If someone says you're not supposed to enjoy long hunts to fashion hunting or collecting endemic life, he's not only wrong but also ignorant and dumb. But so is a guy that says you're supposed to not care about anything but to kill a monster as fast as possible. You play the game for yourself and for your own enjoyment, so mind your own business. There are specific cases where those toxic people have caused one of the most amazing and most creative speedrunners to quit the game. Every single one of his runs is a masterpiece and eye candy for anyone who can understand what's going on. The setups are like if they came from an advanced alien civilization, but it's also the runs that made me start speedrunning after finally having over 1500 hours in the game. Every run, even if it's the same monster and weapon, will look completely different, because everyone's brain is working different and develops its own strats. Thanks to TSC for being such a big inspiration for me and the speedrunning community. With that said, let's move to our first ever episode of Speedrun Breakdown. For this I picked my Azure Rathalos Frostcraft run, which is a couple of months old, but there is a lot of more mechanics and setup in it, so I think it's a good choice. If you guys enjoyed this episode, I will make more of them. So be sure to comment down below which run you want to see next. First thing you always do is check the monster hits on values and make a fitting build. I went with a Frostcraft build because it has the highest damage possible with dual blades only if you can make an efficient use of 3 or less blade dances before you sheath in. Every additional hit more than 48 will lead to massive damage loss since your Frostcraft bar is already empty. I also use the COALESSENCE, which gives you a huge damage boost on your raw and elemental damage if you recover from a blight. But you never want to go out of your way attacking the monster to get blights. That few seconds waste would probably be more than what you can cut off from this damage boost. I also ate for the foot skill Feline Heroics, which boosts your raw damage by 35% if your health is below 10%. This all can only be used if you have a safe and non-time wasting way to activate them for free. So once the run starts, I jump, climb the vine and put my Rocksteady on mid-air, which already saves some time since item usage slows down the player, and after hitting the ground, if you're in range of picking up pots, it cancels the animation, which does neither make your player slow down. The buffing with Demon Drag was probably not worth because dual blades are about 60% raw damage only, so the boost is not that big of a deal to cut 1 or 2 seconds off, but wastes you 4 seconds to take it. And this is a fun part about speedrunning, you get the completion and are pretty satisfied with it, and then you rewatch it and see what you can improve, and mostly it's really obvious things that you would never be able to see during a run if you don't rewatch it afterwards. Now I clutch on its head and turn it 3 times and flinch shot it down. This does not only tenderize the head enough to be able to do it in one normal clutch glow tenderize, but also enrages a monster. An enraged monster takes much more damage depending on its enrage modifier. There is of course a few exceptions that can all be found in my Discord server on the bot command section. Now I'm tenderizing the head, so we have gained that 20% extra affinity from weakness exploit, but also increase its hit zone value for more damage. The reason why I am attacking the legs is because every monster has a flinch threshold on every single part. On Azure Rathalos it's about 1200, so one single blade dance would already flinch him and avoid his roar and flying up. I need those for my setup. That 2 bombs will cause Azure Rathalos to self-dunk since they are detonating after his midair. And when a monster is midair and you flinch its head or wings, you get a 10-second knockdown, which is the longest CC in the game, aka a dunk. But for my run that's not my goal, so that's why I didn't attack the head. My knockdown is caused by him flying backwards to the natural vine trap that is up there and gets activated by a monster's hitbox, which in this case is Rathalos Fireball and flying upwards. Monsters that are hit by boulders or vine traps cannot be cancelled by anything. No sleep, no KO, no para, no traps, nothing. But let's go back again because on these 3 seconds is a lot of stuff happening. During the explosion I'm switching my mental to impact. The fireball hit me on purpose and gave me the FIREBLIGHT, but also bring my health in critical range and slowly down. I do a single dash here which reduces the duration of the FIREBLIGHT by just enough so my health stays perfectly at heroics range. I also had to use 1 blight resistance to reduce it even further. Since this is a vine trap trigger and not a dunk, the monster is immune to any status including KO. So by the time it gets up, the KO would already have been built up, but not wasting it too early. By this I'm able to use the vine trap on its full extent without getting the KO too early, but the KO is already built up as much as possible and only a single hit afterwards would KO the monster. So once the FIREBLIGHT goes off, I'm at 10% health and Feline Heroic gets activated, which boosts my raw damage by 35%. Also of course the skill COALESSENCE, since we do recover from a blight. As soon as this animation ends, the first hit knocks Rathalos already down. Now this is maybe a damage loss over other builds since my meter is empty and I'm still attacking, but it's gonna gain later again since I do less than 3 blade dances on the upcoming CCs. I do already trank the monster because trank bombs last for about 55 seconds after the first 2 were thrown, but it's also a good change to charge up my Frostcraft meter while being efficient in the run. Dual blades are amazing in combination with traps because they have super fast sheathing and are instantly available to do their highest DPS combos. During this shock trap I'm already building up the second KO. It has a higher threshold since status increases every time you apply one, so I need a little bit more than 2 blade dances this time. On the second KO, I do 1 more blade dance to get ready to place a second trap down, which is going to capture it. For Azure Rathalos, you don't save much time for capturing him because he is capturable when he's at 15% health, while other monsters are up to 25 or 30%. So I technically would have killed it with 1 additional blade dance if I didn't get the capture there, and 1 blade dance is more than 10% health drain. That is not even 50 seconds of combat for about 20,000 HP, but the setup also plays an important role on the run. Sometimes it's worth to straight attack on the monster, and sometimes it wastes time on the beginning, but will save much more time at the end. TC's runs are a perfect example for that. Sometimes he does more than a minute full of setup and big brain stuff, like it's literally mind-blowing, and then he's able to kill thanks to the monster in 30 seconds. After rewatching this run, I'm sure if I do another setup on top without to flinch at Azure Rathalos down, it will cut about 10 seconds. But like I mentioned before, I care much more about creativity and very proud of using my own original developed strategies and love nothing more than seeing other people using my own strats and improving them. I want to be an inspiration for other runners, and for me speedrunning is definitely not a competitive thing to do, but an art. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and comment down below what run I should cover next. It doesn't have to be my own, you can choose any technical run. And with technical I mean it should have some kind of mechanics and creativity that is hard to understand or what's going on. Not just anga banga you and your weapon run. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more awesome guides, builds and speedrun videos. With that said, I wish you all a nice day and happy hunting guys.